This is a 25th anniversary, I was told, so we brought like a show we have in America that we've never had over in Europe before. So we wanted to make this show special for Wacken because it's special for us to be here again and be part of the 25th anniversary. So it's going to be, a one-of-a-kind Slayer show for Europe.
This is 25 years of metal madness. I think that's awesome.
Most people that know me in this business knows if there's going to be any party of any sort, it's going to be in whatever room I'm in. All my friends, the Children of Bodom guys, so many people here over the few days of the festival, they know if they want Jägermeister, come see Carrie. So me and Gary Holt always do after show shots. But it's rarely to the point where things get out of control, but sometimes it gets out of control. Not very often.
I never would imagine that I'd be sitting here or having anybody say, what's it like being together for 33 years, 35 years? That's metal. You know what I mean? It's persistence and patience. And that's what metal's about. I mean, because that's how it was with us. When we started, nobody really cared, but we were persistent. We were gonna make people listen to what we do.
When I was starting out on our first couple records, I thought I'd be retired by the time I was 40. Because I thought 40 was old. And it's a different generation these days, and I'm just turned 50 recently, and I don't feel old. You get a little more aches and pains than you used to, but, I still feel we put on a great show, and the music stands for itself. The stuff from the 80s, 90s, the stuff we're doing now. And we're one of those bands that were lucky enough to jump generations. It's not cool if your parents like it and your kids like it. We're one of those bands that it is. And that's very lucky. There's no formula. I guess it's having a 30-year career and not disappointing your fans, and therefore, teenagers are into it. People that were into it from Show No Mercy are still into it. I mean, it's when we do, sometimes in between festivals, use some club dates. When you do the club dates, you never know what you're going to get, because if the older fans are paying attention, they bought up all the tickets. So you look out there and there's like 700 people that look like my dad. And I'm like, are they here for the right show? But we're very lucky.
Always know that what you do unto others will come back to you. So be a good person. Which are strange words coming out of me, right? Love. Love is the true meaning of God. That's the biggest word that I think people don't understand. There's love and passion. In the music that I create and the songs that I put together and help put together, there's a lot of love and passion that goes into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Just 30 years. That's a long time. 30 years is a really long time. And the passion is why I've done this for so many years.
Well, we all know where it started. If you could even somewhat credit Motorhead, even though they'd never called themselves thrash. But I mean, they're a hard edge rock and roll band. I think that's a fair thing to say about them. But that was part of the where we came from. Us, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, Exodus. The names go on. But really, I think at least for the last 10 years, I couldn't tell you anybody new. Because if they're doing it just like somebody else. And if somebody else is doing it, they're already doing it better than you. So it's kind of, the bands like us, we're still out going strong and people are having a good time, but there's really no new bands that are doing anything unique to take it farther than us when we're gone. Charts? No. I could give a shit what's going on in the charts. I never did. But I like to be up. We're on Nuclear Blast now, and I've got friends with Nuclear Blast, and I always have them sending me, metal stuff in case because I can't keep up with everything. There's just too much stuff coming out.
There are some new bands that I think are good. I can't tell you who they are, but I've heard some of that stuff. I'm thinking, wow, this band sounds good. But I never find out who the band is or stuff. My son and daughter listen to new music. a lot of this new metal music, and my son picks out a lot of the bands that sound really great, and my daughter likes a lot of these bands that I'm like, these are the bands that I sit there and listen thinking, where's the influence? Because I don't hear it musically.
When I'm writing music like I am now, I don't listen to a lot of new stuff because, believe it or not, 30, 35 years in, I could still be impressionable. You hear something, you like it, it might find its way into one of my new songs and I don't even know it. So when I'm working on new stuff, I never listen to anything new. I'll wait till our record's done, then go back and listen to it. And I've said a million times about myself, you listen to my first record and I can show you the Iron Maiden riffs. But I think your first record, all you know is how to emulate your heroes. You haven't become yourself yet. And a while back, I got into a band that isn't around anymore, and people say, why do you like them? They sound just like you. And I said, well, I sounded just like somebody when I started, and then we found our own spot and took our own place in metal. But I think, until you know better, you always emulate your heroes. So, of course, it's flattering if somebody, mentions us.
Whenever we come up with ideas or song ideas, I never look into what the song's meaning really is. I read it. If it reads well, it's cool. I'm okay with it. Later on is when the more I sing it, the more more of what the song's meaning is, I guess, will come to light. But I don't really pay attention to it. My best guess is that with the title "Implode," it means it's obviously exploding from within. So maybe the world's gone and doing these things. It's about the world and how it's going to self-implode eventually because of all the stupid things that are going on. You know what I mean? And today, right now, there's some really crazy shit going on. You know what I mean? And everybody's involved. You know what I mean? It didn't take much. It took, well, I shouldn't say it didn't take much because it was a big deal. The plane going down, they shot down that plane. And they had so many people from many parts of the world on it. And I'm amazed that the world hasn't done more. That's what surprises me. The world hasn't gotten to come together and done more to say, listen, you can't be doing this kind of shit. This is really fucked up, and stepped up.
We put out Implode at the Golden Gods in America, whenever that was, March, I don't know, April. And, people would tell me, I never go online and see what people are talking about because people are 10 foot tall behind a computer screen, But, a lot of it was positive. A lot of people said for anybody that was worried about what Slayer was going to sound like post-Hanneman, don't worry about it, And I know people are going to think that. People are going to expect us to fail because it's the first record without Jeff. I get it. But I'm also very proud of what we've done so far towards new material. It's fast. The slow stuff's heavy. I mean, it's everything that people like Slayer for in the past is on this record. It's not like if you're an athlete getting signed to a big deal because then you're guaranteed money for a few years, and a musician is not. Just because you get your first album doesn't mean you're going to have a second one, let alone a third. The one thing we splurge on ourselves, we buy first class or business class because if we don't come, like I said, we arrived here yesterday. If we don't get some sleep on that plane, we're going to be in no shape to play a show.
It's never really been about the money because we would have a private jet if it was about money, but we're not about money. We're about, working hard and playing the music that we like, that we love, and we're fortunate that 75,000 kids enjoy and love it too. You know what I mean? And they're the ones that have allowed us to be around for 30 years. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, my life rocks. I'm totally happy. Slayer is my life, and we ain't going anywhere soon.